So, hey, this is the Pickleball Pirate. I'm here with, obviously, Ben Johns, handsome-looking man next to me here, #1 in the world. So, just a little bit of origin story for you. How long you been playing? So, I remember seeing you back with Yates back in the day, playing with the Engage, Maverick.
Oh yeah, those are really back in the day. I've been playing, it's March right now, so I've been playing 8 years.
8 years. Okay, so when you first started playing, when did you start thinking, hey, I could actually be really good at this, and I could I could go somewhere with this, or did you see the sport going in a certain direction?
I never really saw the sport going in a specific direction. It was always growing quickly, but you never really could anticipate how fast it was going to grow. So I never really had like aspirations of doing it career-wise when I first started, because it just wasn't even an option. Like for winning a tournament, and when I started, you would get maximally like $1,500, and there were only a couple of those per year. So that was
What were you doing at that
different time? I was a student. I was in high school.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
okay.
I was a junior in high school when I started, so I was living life like any high school student. So yeah, I guess I couldn't ever anticipate it as a career. As far as did I know I was good or not, it was interesting because yeah, I knew I was good, but I didn't take it seriously because I was only good compared to a very small pool of pro players. Like when I played in 2016, the first tournament I played was the US Open, and I got 5th in pro singles in my first tournament. I was like, this is a joke of a sport. this isn't right. So yeah, I knew I was good relative to the player pool, but I was like, how many players even play this? Like 20?
Right. There was nobody playing at the time.
Right.
That's interesting. So okay, if you could go back and start that journey over again, like what would you do differently? Anything? I mean, you're #1, so obviously you did something right. But like, if you go back and kick your younger self,
I would do everything the same way.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy it just as much, and I think I do it all the same.
That's awesome. Okay, so obviously a lot of new tennis players coming in, and the Jack Sock thing. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's going to come in and dominate. And obviously there's a lot of young tennis players coming in. What would you tell the young tennis players coming in? Not to give away too many of your secrets, but what would you tell them to do first when they first came in? What advice would you give them?
Well, I'd say probably I'd say partners are a difficult part for a lot of upcoming tennis players. Like they feel like they're good, they feel like they could do well, but they struggle with partners and just doing well on the tour, even though they feel that they're good. So try to get in a good area with like another good player, or ideally more than one good player that also wants to get good and kind of rise together, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done for a lot of people, but I think that's what it takes. I think you need somebody good to be hitting with and practicing with, and
iron sharpens iron.
Better together with.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. I think that the big thing they don't do too is learn the doubles game. Like they don't learn the soft shots, they don't learn the third shot drops. They don't.
On one hand, I would understand that. On the other hand, going back to partners, the easiest way to get a good partner as a new player is to do well in singles, and that's how you get noticed. It's easier to do well in singles. You do that, and then you'll get a good doubles partner. But if you just slog through doubles, you're going to take a lot longer to get a good result. So you're going to take a lot longer to get a good partner.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Like every player I know that rose quickly and got good partners quickly did well in singles first.
Okay. So fat guys like me don't have a chance of finding a good partner because I don't do singles. No, it's too much running. I only run to get donuts. That's what I run to get. So, okay. So, Colin said that table tennis is really key to being, really helps being a pickleball player. Like, would you agree with that statement? Like,
it certainly doesn't hurt. Yeah, I think tennis is obviously like very helpful, but we also have the highest quantity of former tennis players. So when you have a much higher quantity, you're much more likely to have good players, whereas we don't have a high quantity of former really good table tennis players to compare to, right? So I'd say both is, if you can have both, is excellent. But one or the other is going to do really well. And table tennis primarily lends itself to doubles. It's not super singles relevant. Clearly singles is more tennis based. But table tennis, I think, is super helpful with spin and creating rolls and angles and just reading stuff well.
Fast hands.
Certainly reflexes, yeah.
Yeah. So what was your highest ranking in the rating?
Rating in table tennis, I peaked at around a 2,000.
Okay. Yeah. What are pros in that?
Pros are like 2,500.
Okay, so you're up at semi-pro level.
I was further than you think.
yeah, that's up there.
I think it's relatively easy to get to 1,500 to 2,000 range. 2,000, don't get me wrong, is good, but it's very easy to get to a 1,500. It's pretty easy, I think, to get from a 1,500 to 2,000, and then it gets really hard after that.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize that that's one of the things you bring to the game. Now, how high were you in tennis? Like, what was your highest tennis rating?
I didn't really play enough after I was pretty young to really have any real
Okay.
ranking. I was primarily my brother's hitting partner, and he played professionally. So I call myself a very good / professional hitting partner and a terrible player. I had some stuff that was really good and some stuff that was really bad. So for instance, when I was hitting with him, I primarily just hit forehands. My forehand was great. I pretty much only sliced my backhand.
Yeah.
And I had great volleys because he put me up the net a lot.
Yeah.
But I did not have much of a serve return. I didn't have a good serve. Like the stuff to be actually a good tennis player, I didn't really have. To be a good hitting partner, I did have.
So 5-0, you're over there?
Yeah, oh
No.
yeah, I was good.
5 okay.
Yeah, I was fine.
That's awesome. Okay, so the game is evolving at a very, very fast rate. So where would you say the sport's going to be 5 years from now?
Ooh, 5 years. 5 years in pickleball terms is like 100 years. It's
evolving that fast.
Impossible to anticipate. Of course, you're going to see more of the same trend: more fans, more people playing, more TV, bigger prize purses, bigger sponsors. It's everything, right? So you can never really say it's one thing. It's just everything in pickleball seems to grow at the same time, very rapidly.
That's awesome. All right, so you can plead the fifth on this one. Who's the favorite player you like to beat when you play against them? Like who do you just really smile on the inside when you beat them, just because they're like, I don't like them. Not that you don't like them, or you like sticking it to them.
I don't think I really care enough to stick it to anybody. There's a lot of players I enjoy playing against just because they're fun. I like playing against Jack.
He got you to go lefty, bro, in the middle of a semi. I'm like, what the heck?
I like playing against Jama in singles. I like playing against my brother in doubles. I like playing in elite. Not that we get to, we usually play together, but I like playing against her. It's fun. I like playing Matt Wright. I like playing James. There's a lot of players I enjoy playing against.
Well, and I don't think people realize how you guys are really a close-knit kind of community. Like you guys all care about each other. You're kind of all doing the same thing, grinding it out. And people think, oh, they don't like certain people. Oh, they don't like him or they don't like that. That's why I was asking. I'm like,
I mean, there's I don't care enough to like dislike anybody really. There's tons of people I don't really know well. Like there's so many new pros that like I used to know everybody in pickleball when I was in the first 4 or 5 years because it was a
so
smaller group.
Yeah.
Now there's just so many new people I can't keep up. So I don't know everybody, but I don't dislike anybody, and I mean they're mostly easy to get along with. It's just you don't know everybody just via time.
Yeah, no joke. You don't have enough to read. Okay, so last question: Should amateurs try to play like pros?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. There's some things you can do like pros that is going to be super helpful. I think pros are great to mimic primarily on kind of consistent shots. I would not try to play aggressively like pros because that's probably the hardest part. I'd start with making a lot of balls. So if you look at mechanics of, say, how we dink or how we drop, that's probably a good thing to mimic and think about and do. How we hit the backhand one-handed speed up from our shoelaces, I probably wouldn't even bother trying to do that.
Well, Ben was gracious enough to let me beat him in a couple points in skinny singles yesterday. I think he had his eyes closed, so I hit him a couple times. It's a lot of fun. But man, thank you so much for giving us time, and thank you for being gracious.
Thank you.
And thanks. All right.